Hello, Libra. Welcome to your March reading. So I was sitting down to talk to Spirit before we pulled your cards, as I am wont. And Spirit was sharing that as the sign of balance, harmony, equilibrium, justice, we need Libras to be Libraing now more than ever. They were also sharing that a lot of Libra people are shaken and fearful for the world at this time because of their very association with balance and harmony and justice and beauty, goodness, right? Taking care of all, not just me, right? Libra things. And Spirit wanted me to empower you with something really important and true, which is remember that we are all connected and everything is energy. And your influence is infectious, as all others are. But those of us who intend and who put some spirit, soul, energy behind an intentional, congruent influence, that is a much more powerful, potent energy. So you need to know that tending to your own equilibrium, your own congruence, your own alignment, your own equanimity contributes to the equanimity of the whole. What is in one is in the whole. And just as there is chaos in us, there's chaos in the world. And just as there is peace available in us, there is peace available in the world. And we can change minds and open hearts and soften perspectives for others by doing it within and for ourselves. So, tend to your equilibrium and know that that will help you tend to the equilibrium, contribute to the equilibrium of the world. Okay? Okay. Welcome. I'm happy to read for you this month. Let's see. Got a lot of wild things happening in the world and in the sky. This March to May corridor is really going to be something. Curious, any of you who keep up with the stars, what you've been thinking, what you've been reading, what you've been feeling, let me know. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay. I need one more, Libra. Spirit. What sits on the other side of this gate? Got a powerful fear or habit that comes from a deep, deep place that is holding you back from doing something that just feels like you, feels good, feels free. How can they dismantle, dissolve, integrate what is holding them back and allow it to empower them? Okay, Libra, there's some self-worth stuff here. And we talked about equilibrium, and then we pull the Six of Pentacles. Equilibrium, equal give and take. Let's talk about you. You're coming through as the Queen of Cups. Very poignant and appropriate with how Spirit opened up about talking about your equanimity. Please notice that the Queen of Cups, her throne in this particular version of the card is a lotus blossom. And the lotus can only grow out of the deep, dark, muddy, murky places that haven't yet seen the sun. It is only the blossom, right, that gets to see the sun. The Queen of Cups knows the deepest, darkest places. And Libra, you this month are well acquainted. You know, some of you are even going through what one would call a dark night of the soul. And Pluto is only just now out of Capricorn. So Pluto was kind of drilling all of the cardinal signs for a good while. And so this could be kind of the vestiges of that, right? Well, it's a good thing that you show up as the Queen of Cups, because a deep dive and a loving, engulfing kind of compassion is what is called for here. And it's available to you. Sitting in the past, the moon. If you had to navigate, the Queen of Cups is the court card that you wanna navigate the moon with, okay? Because she understands everything is not exactly what it seems, but it is a mirror for exactly what it is. So if you encounter the same pattern with many different people, falling into the same role or the same paradigm or the same dynamic, the call is in part coming from inside the house. Now, undoubtedly, the same is true for the person that you have the dynamic with, or the substance, or whatever, right? The circumstance. There is something to learn from this. It's not coming up over and over again because you're dumb or because you're not passing the test or some shit like that necessarily. It's okay, why don't we try it like this and see if you can come to the understanding that is being offered to you. Your dreams might be very strong and portentous this month, or at the very least active. And if you're not the type to pay attention to the symbology of your dreams, I would ask you to do that this month, and even to keep like a journal of that. Because they are telling you something, even if they are not a one-to-one, right? They're a mirror. It's a vibe. It's like a tarot reading. You know what I mean? Looking at these images, especially some that are very like ancient and strange, we don't encounter the devil in our daily life, but the devil tells us something, and we all, when we start getting acquainted with the meaning of it, we all know a devil or two in our own life, right? So, getting a sense of your internal landscape and even what it looks like in the dark. As they say, you know, what are the thoughts and phrases and haunting things that come up for you at 3 a.m.? Those are the contents of the moon and of the devil, who is sitting in the present. So we're looking those fears straight in the face. We're looking shadow work or substance abuse or dead end job or relationship or toxic friendship right in the face. Looking at what is holding us back and what we chain ourselves to in hope of being loved or being protected or feeling secure. What might you be attaching yourself to that isn't actually good for you, that you used to, maybe it was good for you at some point. The Eight of Cups, importantly, is sitting in the climate and energy around you. Now, a lot of signs have had the Eight of Cups pop up in March because a lot of us are going through the same thing. You know, that's the thing about collective trauma, is it brings a lot of us face to face with the scarier or more existential or more fearful parts of ourselves. So you're not alone. It's important that you know that. You are not alone if you are facing really deep, scary questions and habits and thoughts in yourself and in others, okay? And your courage is called for here, and your faith in yourself. The Eight of Cups is related to the star and to the strength card because they are the numerical, the major arcana eights, right? So there is a sense, it takes enormous strength. It takes enormous faith to walk away from the devil we know. Okay, this relationship isn't that great, or maybe it straight up fucking sucks. Where are you on the spectrum, right? Not saying all Libras are there. I just mean, here's an example. This could be true. Apply it to your job, right? Whatever it is for you. But it's like, okay, if I leave this shitty partner, I don't know that I'm going to find the love of my life. It's not like, you know, there's a lever you get to pull. I made the brave decision, so now I get the best outcome, right? No, it's not that simple. And it's certainly not going to happen if we stick with the crappy partner. You know what I mean? And even if we, you know, all the stars align and we are able to cross paths with like the fresh, real, true soulmate, we're still attached to the shitty partner. It makes it real messy and complicated and kind of taints the beginning, the fresh new beginning that is possible with this soulmate person, because now we have to kind of untangle ourselves and process a breakup and do all this before we get it. Do you know what I'm talking about? So it's not a one-to-one that when we leave the crumbs behind, we get the feast. But it's like, but if you stick with crumbs, all you ever get is crumbs. And there is an empowerment that comes from choosing to let go of crumbs, whether that's, again, financial crumbs, relationship crumbs, whatever, creative crumbs. I think that you are trusting your doubts and your fears and seeing them. You know how if you watch a horror movie before bed and you wake up in the middle of the night and there's the pile of clothes sitting on the chair in the corner and it's like, that looks like a fucking monster. But if we turn on the lights, we can see that it's just the laundry we already should have done sitting on the chair, right? Things look weird in the dark. Things look scarier, bigger, they sound worse, etc., etc., etc. So that means it's important that we bring the light in, that we talk about this thing even to just ourselves in an open way. You know, yeah, it can be great to bring in like a friend or a therapist or somebody that can be there in it with us. So highly recommend. And if you don't have that, or are not ready for that, or don't have access to it, telling yourself the truth about something is a wonderful start. Damn, I am really struggling with knowing that I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, but I'm not ready to leave. Just telling yourself that, if that was the truth, is the beginning of thawing the glacier. Okay? Acknowledging, like, damn, I have an alcohol problem. That, you can take a drink right after. You have still done something to begin to thaw the glacier. That which is hidden, that which is too terrifying to actually consider and look at right in the face, the devil. Right? We have to acknowledge that we have a problem before we can get better. So acknowledging that you have a problem does not make the problem worse, doesn't make it scarier, it does the opposite. So what are you afraid of? Very much a month to look at your deeper fears, your insecurities, and most importantly, like where they come from, where they originate, because the moon is our unconscious, our deep memories. For some of you, it's directly connected to like your mother, ancestrally. Like, she was put through this by her mother, then she put me through this, and now I have a choice of whether to continue putting myself through it by the way that I speak to myself and handle myself. You know what I'm saying? We face deep primal fears when we're thinking of doing big, primal, important things, is something that Spirit is saying. When we are on the verge of a big shift, the Wheel of Fortune sits in the guidance position. Spirit is sending you a big beam of light. Did any of you ever watch Rainbow Bright? Spirit is showing me Rainbow Bright and the rainbow coming out of the belt. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Rainbow Bright creates a path for herself and her trusty rainbow steed anytime she needs it. There is a beam of light. There is a rainbow out here for you to hop on, and things are ready to move forward. Being here at this place where you're facing these big fears is not a sign that you're in the wrong place. It's a sign that you're in the right place and you're on the verge of something enormous. And the enormous thing for you, Libra, is in part accepting what is your due. Six of Pentacles. Being like, yeah, you know what? I can also receive. I can give and I can receive, and I can get good at both. What I have is really valuable, so what I receive in turn is allowed to be really enjoyable and valuable too. Why do I hold myself back from that? Where do I stop myself from allowing balance and reciprocity in my life? Do I have a fear of receiving? Has receiving or giving been attached to deep pain or shame or guilt in my deep past? These are just things that I'm hearing. Because if I dissolve and dismantle that, and if I bring that little foggy, dark, murky place here into the light and look at it and say like, oh, it's okay. I understand why I acted like that, or why I felt that way, or I understand now, looking back, that there was nothing wrong with the way that I was acting. It was just the adults around me couldn't stand it or handle it or didn't get it or whatever. But I get it. And I allow that to be here inside of me. You re-empower yourself It's like defragmenting yourself. There should be no part of you that is unacceptable, okay? Because that's what cuts us off from our power and our perspective that is also available. You are on the precipice of massive change, of having power like you haven't experienced before. That's very potent, but that's what Spirit is saying. The Emperor is sitting in the position representing hopes and fears, potential outcomes. You fear embracing your power in some way, taking control of your life, of saying it's mine. And that's very normal. That's very okay. And that does not preclude you from getting it at all. It is absolutely here for you. Are you willing to face your fears? And if you're, not ready or not willing, how can you help yourself gently, lovingly, Queen of Cups-ally, along to facing those fears? The Queen of Cups can also represent a healer of some kind. So if there is a therapist or a counselor in your life, or whatever form of healer that you maybe like, maybe you don't want to talk about it, but you want to go to acupuncture or whatever. Somebody who helps you bring balance to yourself. Consider enlisting assistance of a fellow Queen of Cups, someone who can stand next to you and help you understand, because maybe you're too close to the case sometimes, and this person can help you go, oh, well, I noticed that every time you talk about this you bring up blah, and you go, oh, I do, and suddenly things become a lot more clear. So I'll also be willing to ask for help. That's something I hear with the Six of Pentacles. Be willing to ask for that input or assistance. Sitting in the key position, Five of Wands, don't be afraid of a little competition. And if you're afraid of competition, that's a fear to look at. What does it mean if you're not number one, or if you are number one, or if other people don't like you, or if other people blah, 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 blah. The conflict that will naturally come up when you are throwing your hat in the ring and saying, I have something to present or do or say or share or be. The cost of being yourself is that some people won't understand it and won't like it, but the important thing is that you understand and like and love yourself, and then you will be drawn closer to the other people who do it and see and like it. Embracing your power will make you unpalatable to some people, but it will change your life. It will widen your options. It'll bring you closer to yourself. You are the iron fist in the velvet glove, Libra. You must just accept it, that you are the, people make you out to be the interior decorator of the zodiac, and they forget that you are the general, the brilliant strategist. Don't forget, and don't dismiss it, and definitely don't divorce yourself from it for the comfort of others. Don't be a pretty little thing on the shelf, or a perfectly irreproachable, courteous person that never gets in the way of others if the right thing to do is to get in the way. Life is about to change, so the fears you're facing are worth facing. I'm in your corner cheering you on, Libra. How does this hit you? Please share with me. I'm very curious if it feels right. I appreciate you being here, Libra, and I hope I will see you at our Saturday Live every week, 11 a.m. Central. Till then, bye, Libra.